Welcome to the live stream today as we're taking a live look right now at Highway 63 looking north. Hardy and Sharp County and Spring River is the area that you're looking at on a gorgeous afternoon across northeast Arkansas. Temperatures feeling absolutely wonderful. So for all the road workers out there this afternoon and for those doing work on the outside, well, I guarantee you they're loving the temperatures. The 74 degrees we're feeling in Jonesboro feels great right now. And there's a lot of news to get to as well today. In fact, we're going to be doing that right now on NEA Report. It's time for us to start the news, so let's do it. Complete with the Christian symbolatry on his wrist and forearm, Officer Matthew Mercado is seen in the video grabbing the jacket using force with a railroad worker, Adam Finley. The video is on December 28th, 2016, and we've talked about this before, but we just got the video today. And we're going to play this thing to you here in its entirety. 8 minutes of video that we're going to be showing you in a second. But before we start it, I want to give you background, because what you're about to see and hear, it gets pretty intense. This is December 28, 2016, and Finley is working as part of his job at the intersection of 63 and 91. He was working as a railroad crossing worker, right? And at that railroad crossing, he was in an unmarked white work truck. You can see some of his jacket right there, which we're going to give you a better look at momentarily. But he's at work for Burlington Northern Santa Fe in an orange work coat, an unmarked truck. He had his work badge, and at this point in the video, he's already given it to the officer. Well, the officer stopped him and then seemed to be offended by the quote-unquote attitude of Finley. The officer was questioning him, asking him what he's doing, and the situation seems to be pushed toward a physical conflict by the officer, Mercado, who is no longer an officer in Walnut Ridge, by the way, and quite frankly shouldn't have been the second this video was seen by those in charge. We're going to show you the full video. It actually begins without sound for the first 20 minutes because the way that these cameras are set up is that they pre-record 20 seconds or so before being turned on. And you can see, obviously, the conversations taking place between the two there. And that doesn't seem to be exactly super cordial, but they don't seem to be shouting at each other, except Finley is clearly looking at Mercado in some form of disbelief. We'll hear the sound begin in just a second, and that's when we'll let the video take over.
Anything like that?
No.
Okay. Well, what's with the attitude?
Nothing.
No, you have an attitude, and what's your problem?
I don't have no problem.
Yes, you do.
I'm good.
I can pull you over if I want.
That's fine.
Because I have a right to ask you what you're doing over there.
Yeah, I work for him.
Okay, it didn't look like you were working. Step back from me some, too.
Oh.
You get up on me again, we're going to have problems. I'm glad you think this is a joke, sir.
I work for him.
What were you doing over there? And why aren't you in a marked vehicle?
Okay, I'm going to pause it just right there for a second. The railroad worker's hands are shaking, jittery. He's in disbelief right now because this hot-headed officer is miffed over the fact that the hot-headed officer did something dumb. He pulled over a Burlington Northern Santa Fe worker and is trying to investigate what he's doing near the railroad. I mean, I'm going to take a guess and say it has something to do with his job. And by the way, when the officer said he can pull him over for any reason he wants, no, you can't. You have to have probable cause that a crime is being committed. So the traffic stop itself, depending on the judge that you go before, is not even a legit traffic stop to begin with. But wait until it continues forward.
But I didn't see you doing no work over there. And
You want to go back over there and open the door?
You're going to put your hands behind your back. Because right now, yeah, you're obstructing with...
Okay, now I've got to pause it there. I was right in the middle of the officer making up a charge, which is, he says, obstructing my governmental operations. We'll see what he says here in a second, exactly. This is because the rail worker was working inside of a building And the officer says he couldn't see any evidence that he was working. You don't have to prove to a police officer that you've been working unless you're suspected of some type of crime. And this officer had nothing to suspect this guy of except for some crappy instincts, which you're about to see escalate the situation.
I'm workful. Look at all this stuff back here.
What did I tell you about getting up on me, sir? Turn around.
Look at that.
Put your hands behind your back. You're about ignorant.
Yeah, I don't think it's him that's ignorant.
Get your ass over here.
Sir.
What you do?
I work for.
You stand there. You move again. What'd I tell you about getting up on me?
I wasn't. I was just trying to tell you something that I could prove that I worked for him.
What'd I tell you about getting up on me?
I'm sorry, I didn't.
Now, you want to be a fucking asshole some more?
I'm sorry.
You better shut your fucking mouth.
Now, as I pause this, let me just point out something very important. This officer was not fired for this incident. He wasn't fired for this incident after police reviewed this tape. Do you want to tell me that's justified? Because it doesn't seem justified to me. It seems like somebody's protecting themselves instead of protecting the rule of law.
Come here. You set your ass right there. And you move from there and I'm going to ride your ass. You understand? I don't know who the hell you think. Look at me. Who the hell you think you are? Or where you're from. Where you mess with cops like that. You lost your damn mind. I dare you move from there.
So now the officer's looking for any evidence.
Why are you driving the Iowa truck? And when I'm saying, why are you talking coming out?
A lot of this stuff is going to be affected by the wind.
You didn't even let me do that.
I'm sorry.
Shut the fuck up. That's your problem right there. How old are you? If you're nervous, for what? What did you do? Right. So what are you nervous about? How do you think I feel? I'm out here by myself. I don't know if you got a gun in there. And then I walk up on you.
So this officer who has now cussed and shouted at this guy is shocked that the guy who's not committed any crimes is nervous. I mean, we're dealing with a real brain surgeon here, folks, okay? But just listen to how this continues, and if you don't know the story of what happens when the gentleman on your screen, the railroad worker, goes to file a complaint, then you're really going to be mad.
All verbally.
I'm 37, sir.
Okay, we're the same damn age. Man to man, why would you talk to another grown man like the way you did?
I just asked you why you pulled me over. I was
going to tell you. Do you know by law we have to tell you why we're pulling you over? Because I can't impede on your civil liberties. But you didn't let me. You become hostile and aggressive with me. Yes, you did.
Now, here's the irony. Listen to this clown. And I'm just telling you, folks, we're not going to pretend like this officer's right in this situation. He's not. If we pretend like some guy acting this way might be right, then we're paving the way for future police to abuse their badge, which they do quite a bit, but they don't do it as much, I think, as a lot of folks would like for people to think that they do. Nonetheless, this is police abuse, what we're looking at right here. He's literally lecturing this guy about his civil liberties as he's put him in handcuffs because the guy was trying to explain why a railroad worker in a railroad worker's outfit was working on the railroad. See, here's what makes this even crazier, and what really miffs me about this story is when this railroad worker went to the police department to file a complaint. The officers there, whom I know quite a few of and who often do wonderful work, they cited the railroad worker twice. They cited him, not the officer, this guy.
I just said, why you pulled me over?
Sir, it's how you say things.
Sorry.
You should be. But you're getting ready to go to jail. Is there anything in here I need to know about?
For what?
For one, didn't I tell you not to get up on me like that?
I didn't.
That's
I
all.
just stood there, sir.
No, you got up on me, sir. I told you don't get up on me. Is there anything in this vehicle you need to know about?
No.
I need to know about?
Yeah, I need my phone.
You don't need it right now.
I've got stuff to do, sir. I didn't.
You got to sit right there. That's what you got to do. Didn't I say don't get up? That's the problem right there.
This moment of silence is as the officer is going to be running some of his personal information. Some of the information on these kind of tapes and some of the moments are redacted when they have those personal bits of info. However, what you're looking at is a traffic stop that has gone from being questionable if there was even a reason for the stop to being somebody having their civil liberties violated. And at the same time having themselves lectured to about their civil liberties.
Adam, you got any warrants?
Oh, no.
You better tell me right now.
I've never been in trouble, sir. I promise.
So why would you talk to a cop like that?
I'm sorry. Please forgive me. I'm sorry. I was just nervous.
Man, he really thinks
Stay on the
highly of
hood.
himself for being a cop, doesn't he? As the officer continues to check, we want to let you know we've also requested video from the Walnut Ridge Police Department of the complaint process that took place from Finley, the railroad worker filing a complaint on this officer. We're hoping to get that video shortly.
Where'd you graduate? What school? I went to Swifton. Adam, my name is Matthew, and this is all being recorded.
Yeah.
I'm going to let you go, but do you understand I could get you for obstruction, for government operations, just listen to me now, assaulting a peace officer. I should take you to jail right now. All right? Let me tell you something. When you come in contact with an officer, let them tell you why. Don't just start, what are you doing?
I was just confused.
Don't be confused. I'm going to alleviate all confusion. Now, you put yourself in my...
So now, let's take a moment from the brilliant Matthew Mercado lecturing this guy to lecture this officer and anybody else that might be listening. Hey, guess what, police? You don't have a right to pull anybody over just because you want to. And now those little cameras on your lapel mean whenever you start abusing your badge and abusing your authority, we get to show the video to thousands of people just like we're doing right now. This kind of stuff has to stop. And police cameras generally protect the police from unfair accusations, but it's cases like this that don't. This shows the exact problem and the exact reason why cameras are necessary. Because as this officer is lecturing someone on their civil rights, he just threatened to arrest him for assaulting the officer. The officer attacked him physically on camera.
Oh, I understand.
You're a police officer.
Yes, sir.
That's my property right there I'm supposed to watch. Are you in a marked vehicle that says railroad? And where's your plates from? So, now could you see where I'd be suspicious of what you were doing over there?
Yeah. Yeah.
And then when I make contact with you, you're aggressive and hostile with me verbally. And
Well, I mean,
Well, despite Mr. Mercado's personal feelings about the matter, he didn't stay in the job very long. He actually lost the job within the next 3 months after that, although it was told to me by the department there that he resigned. Now, the gentleman on your screen right there, who was grabbed for doing his job and shoved against his truck, and I want to show you that as we're looking at multiple lovely tattoos there on Mr. Aggression. It was this incident that's now netted Walnut Ridge and its city officials lawsuits. But see, following this incident, Finley went to the department and he tried to file a complaint. That's when he was ticketed. Yeah. He was ticketed by officers Chief Chris Kirksey and Officer Matt Cook after the incident you're looking at. Refusal to submit and obstructing governmental operations. He was not guilty. by the way, of either of those 2 citations. Do you want to know how we know that? Because he went to court and was found not guilty. He was acquitted of all charges on April 3rd of this year, 2 days before he came to Jonesboro and had a conversation with one of the attorneys around here that you don't want to see yourself across the courtroom from if you've done something wrong. Jonesboro attorney Mark Reese, who's filed a lawsuit. And he said, if they would have taken, this is a quote from Mark Reese, if they would have taken the complaint, let me actually show you guys this because we got it on the screen. If they would have taken the complaint, reprimanded the guy, and treated my guy respectfully when he entered the department, he wouldn't have got a citation and he wouldn't have had to hire a lawyer. He wouldn't have had to come to Reese's office and he wouldn't have felt that, or he would have felt that the police did something. That's not what happened. Instead, he was cited for several crimes he did not commit, as you can see on the video and as a judge ruled. And after those citations, he had to hire, well, before those citations, well, after they were written, but before he went to court, he had to hire a lawyer. After the citations were dismissed, at that point, he's already out lawyer fees. He has to recover those, and as the video shows, he wasn't wrong. So shouldn't he try to? It's a sad case. I don't know what's worse to this case, because there's elements, the video is disturbing. The language is unacceptable for any officer to use. It's amazing how that some officers feel like that it's just as soon as they have begun a traffic stop, they have total domain and control, and that's wrong. And then he goes and tries to complain, and the officers in the department neglect their ability completely to withhold and uphold justice. Instead, they write citations for the railroad worker. And then the mayor supported him and backed him. This afternoon, I asked Walnut Ridge Police Chief Chris Kirksey a pretty hard question. I said, do people need to fear you ticketing them for complaining about bad cops? He said he couldn't comment to the question. We'll keep following this story and bring you more on NEA Report.
Haley Norris, Realtor. No. Should I make my hair go like this? Whether you need to buy, sell, or lease. Haley, can I use my hands? Or is that, where are my hands? Where do they go?
Just say,
Haley.
Just say Haley.
Whether you need my expertise. Haley Norris, Realtor. Or even do a commercial lease. Haley Norris, Realtor. Should I say Remax Real Estate Center or no? Is that too salesy?
No, that's good.
My average days on market is just 50 days. You need my expertise. And that means I'm putting more money back in your pocket.
Accidents happen. So what happens if you bring your car or truck to Stadium Auto Body? It's in the hands of a manufacturer-certified expert who'll treat it with respect. It's brought back to life using the advanced tools and technologies today's vehicles require. All makes, all models. At Stadium Auto Body, we do the job right, back our work with a limited lifetime warranty, and make the whole experience pleasantly easy. Accidents happen. We're what happens next. Tell your insurance company you choose Stadium Auto Body.
Brothers Flooring on Highway 67 South in Pocahontas has all your flooring covered. Stop by our showroom Monday through Friday 8 to 5 and see all we have. Carpet with pad and install starting at $16.50 a square yard. Laminate with pad installed starting at just $3.25 a square foot. Every name brand of engineered and solid hardwood from $5 a square foot and up. Waterproof vinyl planks, wood look and tile look, attached cork pack starting at $3.49 a square foot installed. Ceramic and porcelain tile of all sizes and all colors. We build custom tiled showers from the floor up shelves and benches, tub surrounds, kitchen backsplashes like no other. Brothers Flooring, Highway 67 North in Pocahontas. Call today, 870-892-2525.
It's time now to take a look at your New Wave Wireless forecast. It's home of the $49 iPhone screen repair. And for the rest of this afternoon, expect a breezy day with some nice temperatures, just like we've got for the rest of this week. Going to be seeing those temperatures up to around 74, where they're at right now, as a matter of fact. No higher than that. In fact, all week long. Down to around 58 tonight, and then tomorrow, mostly cloudy skies. They will gradually become sunny with a high near 75. Breezy tomorrow, too, though. Clear tomorrow night, a low down to 43. For Thursday, about 15 degrees cooler with a high only around 60. We're going to see winds calm down as well. Mostly clear on Thursday night with a low around 40. Friday, sunny with a high near 61. Saturday, partly sunny with a high near 65. But Saturday night, showers and thunderstorms start to roll in. They're going to last into Sunday. Maybe a little bit into Monday, but the showers and thunderstorm possibilities are mainly from Saturday night into Sunday during the day. Right now, as I mentioned, the temperature is 74 degrees, seeing winds out of the southwest gusting at around 25 miles per hour today in Jonesboro. That's the photo right there of an engine. An engine on a Southwest Airlines plane today that was forced to make an emergency landing after that engine exploded mid-flight. It happened not long after the Southwest plane left LaGuardia Airport in New York City. The plane was forced to make an emergency diversion to Philadelphia. Whenever the plane landed, some more photos were taken and they got a better idea of what happened, but it was a passenger seat window next to this wing that the engine was attached to that exploded. The window was actually destroyed as well, and a passenger was partially blown out of the plane. When the plane lost air pressure rapidly, those airplane cabins, they actually build up air pressure for the flight, and then they have to adjust whenever they land. Sudden puncture to the cabin itself causes all the air to be blown out. I would say sucked out, but it's technically blown out. And the woman was fatally wounded whenever she was blown out of the section of the plane. Passengers scrambled in the middle of the flight to pull her back in, according to reports, and they got her back in and were trying to give her CPR. The report was that she was covered in blood. The woman did pass away from the injuries. Not sure what caused it, but a terrifying situation unfolding for those who were on the flight today. Folks saying that everybody on board was crying. The oxygen masks were dropped down and deployed. No other injuries, as far as I can tell from reports, beside the woman who was tragically killed. In the fallout of what was really a disgusting case of racial discrimination captured on camera at a Starbucks that I think was in Philadelphia, it's now been announced that Starbucks will be closing more than 8,000 of its stores on the afternoon of May 29th to conduct racial bias education geared towards preventing anything like this from happening again. This is a press release you're looking at from Starbucks. It says that all Starbucks company-owned stores will apply this training to their nearly 175,000 employees. It's to be designed, the curriculum, by nationally recognized experts and will be available for other companies to use as well, it says in the release. It says the CEO of Starbucks commented, quote, "I spent the last few days in Philadelphia with my leadership team listening to the community, learning what we did wrong and the steps we need to take." He says, quote, "While this is not limited to Starbucks, we're committed to being part of the solution. Closing our stores for racial bias training is just one step in a journey that requires dedication from every level of our company and partnerships and our local communities." Of course, if you're not aware of what actually happened, it was a Starbucks in Philadelphia where several black men were sitting and had not ordered yet and were waiting on a friend whenever the manager asked them to leave because they had not made a purchase. But people are allowed to stay in Starbucks all the time without making purchases. Sometimes they meet people there, conduct meetings. I've done it in the local one, business meetings. Unfortunately, these men were arrested and held by authorities for some 8 hours. Of course, the police didn't make any mistakes, because they never do. The officer in charge of the officers on the scene, the, I think, police chief, it may have been the commissioner actually, stated the officers had not done anything wrong. They did their jobs. But the individuals that were in the store didn't do anything wrong either. They just wanted to be treated like anyone else in a Starbucks. And because of their skin color, they were treated differently. Now Starbucks taking action and reviewing the training and practices to make reforms necessary. Hopefully, others will follow suit. Scientists are saying that diamonds found in a meteorite that exploded over the Nubian Desert in Sudan about a decade ago were formed inside of a lost planet that once circled the sun in the early solar system. Pretty incredible assertions. Check this out. Microscopic analyses of the meteorite's tiny diamonds revealed that they contain compounds produced under intense pressure. It suggests that the diamonds had to be formed beneath the surface of a planet, possibly closer to the core. In the case of this situation, they think the mysterious world was somewhere between Mercury and Mars in terms of size, not in terms of position, because that would be here. But astronomers have long since hypothesized, according to a report from The Guardian, that dozens of fledgling planets ranging in the size from the Moon to Mars formed in the first 10 million years of our solar system, and then were broken apart and repackaged in violent collisions that would ultimately create the planets that we have in our solar system today. But if the latest findings are confirmed, the meteorite, which is called the Almahata Sita meteorite, will be the only known remnants of one of these long-lost planets, at least as far as we've collected at this stage of our existence in the universe. It'll give scientists a unique window into the cosmic conditions that prevailed in the deep history of our solar system. So we want to let you know, if you're ever watching us in chat and you're having a birthday and you tell me about it before the show is over, well, there is no way I can resist saying happy birthday to you and to Kathy McSwain, who is watching and having a birthday and who has really, she watches us every single day, and that's why we love Kathy. And that's one of the reasons we're going to have to tell her happy birthday right now. So a big shout out to Kathy McSwain, who is celebrating her 21st birthday today. Actually, I don't know, 22nd maybe, but nonetheless, thank you. And if you're ever having a birthday, you want us to give you a shout out, well, join us in chat during the middle of the show. We'll be happy to put together a little full screen and say happy birthday to you or your loved one. If you've been following the national news, it's been the big story for the last few days, A Higher Loyalty, the Jim Comey book. Well, we've got our copy of that today, and we're going to be live tweeting the book as we read it and review it. We're going to pick it apart. Everything that he asserts in it's going to have to go through my fact checker, my lie detector I have in my brain. So we're going to be covering that. But that's at my Twitter account, twitter.com/Stan Morris. I put that out there on mine because I don't want to blow everybody's news feeds up with politics and stuff, because you're probably getting already as much as you can handle and maybe then some. But for those of you out there who do want us to cover this stuff, we wanted to let you know this is where you can find out more. Temperature in Jonesboro right now about 74 degrees, and that is our high for today. We're expecting temperatures today to probably not go any higher than that. In fact, they're going to begin dropping here within the next couple of hours, dropping overnight tonight to 58 degrees. Tomorrow it starts out cloudy and then it becomes sunny. It's going to clear up more with a high near 75, breezy tomorrow too. And looking ahead to the weekend, Saturday night into Sunday, showers are likely and possibly a thunderstorm as well. Thanks so much, everybody, for joining us and hanging out with us on NEA Report today. It's 424 in Jonesboro and across Northeast Arkansas. We will be back tomorrow with more news from Northeast Arkansas every day, right around between 3 and 4 p.m. or so is when we broadcast live on Facebook, and after the fact, you can check it out on demand if you would like to as well. I'm Stan Morris. We hope you have a wonderful afternoon. Stay safe, enjoy the weather, and we will see you back here tomorrow, unless breaking news breaks out, and that's when NEA Report breaks in. Have a good night.